Smackdown started tonight with the Usos following last week's events of the Bloodline collapse. Of course, this was billed as the start of the Bloodline Civil War. Jay would stop himself saying the Bloodline's in your city, instead saying the Usos are in your city. This promo spoke about why the Usos did what they did, talking about respect, saying that Roman Reigns basically made them feel like they wasn't worth anything, etc. And they said that they're the best tag team in the world, and at Money in the Bank, they're going to prove it. Obviously, this isn't singles competition. Kind of makes a lot of sense. A lot of featured moments talking about Paul Heyman as well, saying how Paul was just basically leeching off of the Bloodline for 40 years, basically talking about how he's not part of the Bloodline. Very good promo. Got to admit, Jey Uso was super intense, but this is what caught my eye at the end. The new hand gesture for the Usos, instead of just the one to the sky, they combined it, showing unity, showing they are together, and I guess together they are strong. Very nice touch from the Usos to break this out during their first promo after last week. We would see Solo Sikoa later on arrive with Paul Heyman, immediately give a spike to Ridge Holland, who was just innocently walking past, and then that would lead to Sheamus calling out Solo for the main event match of SmackDown. Really good match. Solo would finish the match by laying Sheamus out by backing it up through the barricade, breaking the barricade. Referee called the stoppage. He would then spike an EMT while a former NWA heavyweight champion in Adam Pearce just cowered away from Solo Sikoa. Thought that was quite funny. We would then have the Usos come down and annihilate Solo. And of course, double super kicks, double splashes. Paul Heyman's face was the picture. Paul Heyman is shocked. He's scared. The Usos brought the war to Solo tonight. What will happen next week when Roman returns to SmackDown? And of course, Money in the Bank, the Civil War match. This is things you might have missed from Friday Night SmackDown. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button. And if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button too. There's lots of rumours and lots of speculation, considering there were some match changes tonight that SmackDown got Vince McMahon. But I would say hold your horses a little bit. Remember on Raw, there were some rumours that Vince changed things. The next day it came out Triple H changed things. We just don't know. One of those changes meant we saw LA Knight take on Rey Mysterio tonight. Kind of makes sense. They've got a lot of history together. LA Knight only shoved Rey last week. There was an okay match. I mean, LA Knight versus Rey is never going to disappoint. The crowd were behind LA Knight. LA Knight got a good spotlight and a clean victory over Rey Mysterio. That's massive. LA Knight pins a Hall of Famer clean. That's cool. After the match, LA Knight did the typical heel thing, trying to remove the mask of Rey Mysterio. Lots of fans on Twitter not happy they're forcing LA Knight to be heel. I just think that's him. That's his character. Live with it, basically. LA Knight leaving the ring as Santos Escobar comes out to save Rey. Makes you wonder if this feud will continue after Money in the Bank, potentially. Which, by the way, we saw WWE turn London green on their graphics, advertising the men's Money in the Bank ladder match tonight. And if you're attending Money in the Bank Superstore is a thing. It's at the O2. All details are on screen, the opening hours, etc. Look at some of that exclusive merch. The briefcase man looks awesome. It was probably the most hyped match for this week's SmackDown. It was Championship Unification as the Unholy Union took on Ronda and Shayna with Raquel Rodriguez sat at ringside. I'm not saying anything yet. You're going to have to wait. You know it's coming. You know I really want to, don't you? You know I really want to, but we've got to talk about the match first. But there's a damn good reason why Raquel was sat ringside. We'll come to that. But of course, Ronda and Shayna versus Isla and Alba. Alba and Isla looked really good in this. They was outsmarting Ronda and Shayna at every turn. But then we got the choke from Shayna. Now, watch this, okay? Shayna got backed into the corner. Alba Fire clearly had both hands on ropes. Now, that's a rope break. Instead, they rolled forward and the match was done by the legal person, Alba Fire, tapping out. Clearly, that shouldn't count. Surely that's a rope break, right? I probably would dig a bit more into that, but the celebration for the new unified tag team champions, Ronda and Shayna, didn't last very long because Raquel wants a rematch with her tag team partner, Liv Morgan. Oh my God! Liv Morgan is back! Honestly, Liv and Raquel are about to become the WWE Unified Women's Tag Team Champions. And you know, I'm all here for it, baby. It was definitely alluded to that Liv Morgan never lost the Tag Team Championships alongside Raquel. Obviously, Raquel teamed with Shotzi during that period because of Liv's injury. So there's definitely a claim to the championships for the rightful Tag Team Champions, Liv and Raquel! I'm so happy, man. Honest to God, I'm so happy. What a Friday Night Smackdown. The Street Profits would come out during Grayson Waller Effect tonight, challenging Pretty Deadly to an immediate tag team match, which gave us this Montez Ford wearing Pretty Deadly's jumper thing. This is going to be on the internet for life, isn't it? Montez Ford's going to... He pulled it off, though, let's be fair. It was some Pretty Deadly cheating to win, actually allowing Pretty Deadly to win this match, which makes sense. Pretty Deadly are set to face Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn next week on Friday Night SmackDown live from London, so that's pretty cool. But to fast forward a bit, the poster for Payback came out today. This looks really nice. One thing to note, though, no Roman Reigns on the poster. A lot of people speculating Roman was going to do something massive, or someone was going to do something massive to Roman at SummerSlam, whether it be Solo, Bray Wyatt, etc. But no Roman means it's probably unlikely that Roman is confirmed for Payback at this point. There were salutes all round for Lacey Evans taking on Charlotte Flair tonight. And it would be Charlotte Flair who picked up the win with a figure-8 leg lock. You know she held that on a little bit too long after the match ended. Why? Because we all know Lacey Evans, who her baby daddy was, right? We would then have Asuka come out, lose a shoe, attacking Charlotte Flair. Who knows what the other thing was that flew off of Asuka at that point. But even she did the salute. Everyone's saluting on Friday Night SmackDown from now on. That's a new trend. But we will be getting Asuka and Charlotte for the WWE Women's Championship next week on SmackDown. Major SmackDown next week. You also got the tag team title match we spoke about earlier next week. And the Grayson Waller Effect with Logan Paul. I mean, if you're attending Money in the Bank and SmackDown like me, it means you get to see Logan Paul twice. Yippee! But you also get the return of the tribal chief ahead of the Civil War and the Bloodline. Roman Reigns returns to SmackDown again next week. This SmackDown was just okay, in all honesty. The Liv Morgan return, 10 out of 10. The show overall was 6 out of 10. It's building for next week and for Money in the Bank. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, turn on those notifications, never miss another upload, like the video, share the video, and I'll see you next time. Peace!